This is On the Charts with Nick Raj, your Australian stock market update, highlighting stocks on the move so that you can invest with confidence and success.
The information in this podcast is general advice only and does not take into account your personal situation. Please consider if it is appropriate to you and consult a licensed professional before making any investment decisions. The information provided is believed to be accurate at the time of recording.
Welcome to the On the Charts podcast, episode 183 for 26th of April 2017. Just before we get going onto the markets, a quick reminder that the Trading System Mentor course is currently open. Visit nickraj.com for details and to register your interest. The US market has gathered upward momentum after the French round 1 vote, adding 1.7% in the last two sessions on back of strong leads from all European indices. The UK has rallied 2%, Germany 3.5%, and France has added over 4%. The Nasdaq closed at all-time record highs, exceeding 6,000 last night, as did the Russell Small Cap, which also tagged new all-time highs. Stocks have been buoyed by ongoing positive earnings result, which we'll talk about very shortly, and that's underpinning a strong US economy. Some of the big-name Dow stocks roared last night. Caterpillar up 8%, McDonald's added 5.6%, and in the tech sector, Tesla belted to new high closing price of $313, as did Netflix, which jumped almost 6%. And according to FN Arena, over half the S&P 500 stocks have now reported the earnings growth run rate is a very healthy 11.4%, which is in line of expectations. But most importantly, revenues are up 6.9%, marking the best performance in 5 years after a period of very largely zero growth. FN Arena go on to say that in the years following the GFC, many US companies implemented cost-cutting programs that served to boost earnings results. Many companies took advantage of historically low interest rates to borrow money to buy back their own shares, thus inflating earnings per share. But revenues are the telltale of how a company is really performing, and given they can't be artificially boosted in the same manner. And the S&P 500 has more than tripled since the GFC low, but it's only now that revenue growth is returning. Australia opened again today after Anzac Day holiday yesterday and followed all global indices higher. The main ASX 200 added 0.75%, while the small caps continue to struggle for upside traction. As has been the story for the last few months, the ASX strength is really all about the top 20 stocks, especially the banks, and not much else is actually moving in any consistent fashion. Banks added anywhere from 0.8 to 1.4% today. BHP strengthened 0.6%, and even Telstra had a late finish up into the green territory. Newcrest, however, did fall on the back of a retreating gold price and lost 5% today. Other small cap gold stocks fell very heavily. Beetle lost almost 18%. St. Barbara dipped 11%, and most other names declined 7% in that sector. Seven West added 10%, Linus Corp gained 8%, and A2 Milk surged to new highs with a 7% update today after it announced a strong start to the June quarter sales. In other news, the headline inflation rate was 0.5% for the March quarter, slightly less than expected, but enough to put the inflation rate back into the RBA target band and the highest level since late 2014. Let's take a look at a few shares of interest. National Australia Bank, first up, appears to be chugging along okay, but technically we do see some reasons to be a little bit worried. Analysts are in two minds. Some have recently upgraded the stock, citing that the risks to the banks have weakened and that growth is improving. However, others suggest a lack of positive revenue of a capital rating is still warranted. That said, NAB appears to be good value based on earnings compared to its peers. Costs are under control, and the company sold down underperforming UK assets to realise £127 million of capital. Technically, the share price continues to probe higher, but doing so with less momentum, which is a little bit of a worry. That in itself is not a major concern, but the occurrence of this at this stage of the trend does suggest a turning point, at least in the near term, and it may be close at hand. Long-term readers will know we require confirmation rather than simply making a prediction, so we'll only act once a downside shift becomes evidence. Should that occur, we'd be expecting a decline back towards 27.70 to the 28.80 zone, which in turn sets up a very solid buying opportunity and potentially an assault on the 2015 highs up near $38. Shorter-term swing traders could look to trade the weakness, although strong support comes in around $29, so don't get too caught up with looking for anything too far below that. Longer term buyers should await those kinds of levels before initiating positions. Next up, BlueScope Steel may have resumed its upward march after recently dipping. The Port Kembla Steelworks operator recently reported a 17% increase in revenues and a net income before extraordinary items increase of 79%. The consensus from brokers and analysts is currently a buy, and the expectations that Chinese steel exports and US protectionism should improve earnings. Analysts expect the company's free cash flow will be used to reward shareholders through a share buyback or further dividends. Technically, the stock has been trending very well for a few years and recently dipped about 18%. That dip was on increased volume, which is a little bit of cause for concern, and upside traction must now remain firmly intact. The stock dipped and tagged the 100-day moving average, and whilst we don't pay too much attention to that style indicator, many analysts do so. So the rejection may be seen as some signal of support. As a minimum, assuming the recent lows down around $11 do hold, we'd expect a return to new highs around the $14 level. BlueScope has been in the large cap growth portfolio since breaking out of its base back in December last year. My name's Nick Raj, and I look forward to seeing you on the charts tomorrow.
On the Charts with Nick Raj, brought to you by The Chartist. Join Nick and the team at Noosapalooza Trading and Investment Conference, 20th and 21st of July in beautiful Noosa, Queensland. Visit thechartist.com.au and click on Noosapalooza in the menu for details.